So, if you're feeling like your motivation has just up and vanish, you are in exactly the right place. We're about to break down a really powerful way of thinking called the architecture of momentum, and honestly, it might just change everything about how you get things done. Okay, let's just get this out of the way right now because it's the most important thing you need to hear. You are not lazy, and you are not broken. The real problem is something totally different. It's this idea right here. You are overexposed and undercommitted. See, that's a much more dangerous place to be. This isn't about some deep character flaw. It's about the state you're in right now. It's really about how your motivation got buried. And that's a super important way to think about it. It didn't just pack up and leave. It was buried, maybe without you even realizing it. So, how did that happen? Well, think about it. It got buried under all the noise, the constant pings, notifications, and everybody's opinions. It got buried under a mountain of options, so many choices that you just end up doing nothing. And maybe the biggest one? It got buried under hundreds of tiny little surrenders. You know, those small choices that felt harmless at the moment, but little by little, they just wore you down. And all of that leads to this huge misunderstanding that keeps so many of us completely stuck. The problem isn't some internal failure. It's about your external world. This is where we need to flip the script. The story most of us tell ourselves is, I have a motivation problem. But the real issue, the thing we can actually do something about, is this. I have an environment problem. So, what do we mean by a scattered environment? Well, just think about your surroundings. They are literally designed to scatter your focus. Every single open tab on your browser, every notification that pops up, every half-finished plan floating around in your head, each one is like a little withdrawal from your mental energy account, an account that you almost never get a chance to top up. Alright, so if the environment is the problem, what do we do about it? Well, the game plan is a really simple but incredibly powerful three-step process. First, eliminate, then act, and finally, protect. Let's dig into what each of those actually means. Okay, step 1, eliminate first. This is the foundation for everything else because you just can't build something strong and structured in the middle of total chaos. It doesn't work. The rule here is so simple, but it's tough. Before you try to add a new habit or chase a new goal, you have to cut something out first. The point is to just silence one source of distraction completely. Create a little bit of a void. Create some quiet, because that's the space where the new thing is actually going to grow. And that brings us to step 2. Now, this is the one that most people really struggle with. But I'm telling you, it is the one that changes everything. And it's this. Act first. This right here, this is the whole secret. Motivation does not arrive before action. It follows it. We've got it completely backward our entire lives. We sit around waiting to feel inspired to go work out or to start that project. This totally rips that excuse away. You don't wait for the feeling. Okay, so if you can't wait for the feeling, then what are you supposed to do, right? How do you even start when your tank is on empty? You make a decision that is so ridiculously small, your brain can't even argue with it. I'm not talking about a full workout. I'm talking about one single rep. Not writing a whole chapter, just reading one page. Not an hour of work, just 1 minute. Each one of those tiny actions is like casting a single vote for the person you want to become. You see how that works? That little tiny action is the spark. It's the kindling. The act itself is what generates the energy. Motivation is the fire that catches from that spark, not the other way around. So you've cut out a distraction. You've taken one tiny action. Now comes step 3. Protect your momentum. Because once you've created it, that little bit of forward motion is the only thing you truly own in this whole process. But what even is momentum? It's not some big, dramatic, overnight change. It's a quiet, cumulative force. It's subtle, it's steady, and it just builds on itself day after day after day. And what does that actually look like in real life? Well, it looks like showing up to do that one rep or read that one page, even when, and let's be real, especially when, that feeling just isn't there. It looks like choosing the slightly harder, more structured path over the easy comfort of distraction over and over until that choice just becomes who you are. And this really shows the fundamental difference. Most people are just waiting. They're waiting for some lightning bolt of motivation to strike and change their life for them. The disciplined person, they get it. They know they are the lightning. They move first, and they let the fire catch behind them. This is the philosophy that pulls it all together. You have to be the one to move first, and then let that fire of motivation catch behind you. You are the cause, not the effect. So remember that architecture. Eliminate, act, and protect. It's not some grand blueprint. It's a daily practice, and it starts right now. So the real question for you is this. What is one decision so small that you absolutely cannot refuse to make today?